Hey, good afternoon, everyone. I'm really happy to join you again, and or I guess have you join me, whatever that is. So last week I spoke about the page in this book, Kingdom 101, regarding vision, and I can't express to you how important that is. If you don't have a vision, if you don't understand that God had a vision for us, then you're just kind of living hoping you make it to the end. And I want to point out to you some of the more mature things of the kingdom. Hey Rachel, that you may not be aware of, if especially in the Western church. I know there are people actually watching all over the world. Yay, welcome. But especially to the Western church, which is us, we are used to going to church and attending church, and it's mostly, we're generally, and this is a generalization, but it's usually we're a consumer. We go to be fed, we go to be strengthened, encouraged, ministered to, and there's nothing wrong with that, but you've got to understand you're missing the whole kingdom. Okay, there's a difference between the kingdom and church. The church is a part of God's kingdom. But imagine in the old days, in the feudal system, where there was the king and the castle, and there was a church within the walls of the kingdom. However, that wasn't the whole kingdom. Does that make sense? It's so often that I have to look outside of the church, outside of what I've always been taught, for examples in the world that the world has picked up on, that God started. But then realize, oh, okay, those actually apply here, like the kingdom. The kingdom is the fullness. That is all of God's dominion. And He wants His dominion brought to earth through us. That was the original mandate, for us to co-labor with Him in advancing the garden and taking dominion and being creative with Him and enjoying His company and His presence until the fall. And that's when the authority was given away. I went over authority a couple of episodes ago. So you got to understand authority, that you do have the authority. God has given it to you. And then why do you have the authority? Because you're part of co-laboring with Him to bring heaven to earth and to see them walk in tandem as He originally planned back in Genesis 1:26. And so then you have to have vision. Right, I'm just doing a quick review. Okay, so you've got the authority, you've got the kingdom. Now, what am I supposed to do about it? Well, God says, go, destroy the works of the devil, make disciples, teach people about me, bring back my inheritance. Jesus paid for it all, restored everything, so that we could get going with the original mandate again. Jesus hit that overs button for us, and we are co-laboring with Him through Holy Spirit. If you're not full of Holy Spirit, baptized in His power, how are you going to do this insurmountable thing He's called you to do? You surely can't do it yourself. That's why people burn out, because they try to do it in their own strength, right? So okay, so now we have vision, we have authority, we have vision, and now what about you? You individually, yes, you see, okay, I get the vision. I'm supposed to bring heaven to earth. I'm supposed to be walking around just like Jesus. Great. How do I do that? Well, God will assign certain aspects of what He wants done on the earth to certain people. And we don't all get the big leadership assignment. And this is called a mandate. All right, a mandate is a part of a vision. It is, I'm going to read it so I get it straight. Mandates are given to those who are faithful with little and given more. There may be several missions within a mandate that fulfills a vision through multiple lives. Okay, the prophets of Israel, Moses, and Joshua are good examples, right? So He'll say, look, certain people in this area, I've called you to this geographical area, and I have called you to equip the saints for the work of the ministry through intimacy with the bridal paradigm, the bridal understanding. Okay, I know that may be really unfamiliar conversation to some of you, but what if He says, okay, it's your job to be the best roofing company in the San Angelo area? Then you know what your job is. You know what you're supposed to do. Well, it's the same in the kingdom. He says, okay, I want you to equip the saints. I want you to teach the people and demonstrate it with them, and teach the saints how to do what they're called to do. I happen to have seen this mandate on a life at the Garden Apostolic Training Center with Brandy Helton, and I went, oh, this was actually before all that started. I just heard her talk about her vision and her passion. I was like, yes, I want to do that. I didn't have to be the original one God said to do it, but I said, that lady, she has got something. That appeals to me. Something about that jives with me, even though I don't understand it. And the next part of this prayer at the end of this lesson is, if you are not the one that is given the mandate, that God says, all right, this is the part I want you to fulfill in this region, in this area, or this, I don't want to get into the 7 mountains. That's a teaser for something we'll talk about later. But in this area, I want you to take dominion here, and I want you to do it this way. Well, you may not be the person that receives that call, that vision, and the mandate part of it, but you are more than likely called to support the person that God has tapped. And how does he choose his people? Not like we would at all. He chooses the humble. Remember when he was choosing King David, he's like, oh, no. Man looks on the outward appearance, but I look on the heart, right? So if you want to be a leader, go low and serve everybody. That's what leadership really is. And so you also have the choice to say, I see either, yes, Lord, you've really put it in my heart to do this, and this is what I'm going to do because this is my part of fulfilling your kingdom and doing what you've called me to do for my specific life, my little part, even though others have done it before me and others will do it after me and others are doing it alongside me. I want to do what you've called me to do. All right, great. So say you get a mandate, awesome. But if you're not the one that says, all right, God's given me this and I need to fulfill this, then you can see what God's given to someone else and say, I'll support you. I will do what I can do to serve you because I know that God's called you to it. I know he's anointed you, and it's really, I'll submit to that. What you're saying, I'll make my own. I'll take that and I'll serve you. And I don't have to look for my own way to figure something else out. I'll just be loyal to what God has called you. And then it not only becomes theirs, it becomes yours. And we understand that in the business world about a company culture. And we had friends who owned a bottling company, and a certain big, they had part of it. They weren't the big owners of it, but they had a certain soda. And do you know that's all their family drank? I mean, they had, water and whatever, but I'm saying if you went to their house, they only offered what belonged to their family because they were on mission. It was theirs. And they would also get offended with you if you brought something else because they were sold out. They were all about that. And I'm not talking about ungodly competition. I'm just saying they knew what they were about and they were loyal to it and they stuck with it. And so I hope this has maybe made you think about what's the difference between the kingdom and what I'm doing in my daily life as a saint out there in the world versus going to church, consuming, and loving Jesus with all your heart. But guys, it's just time to grow up. Let him grow this seed that I'm putting out there, that there is more to your life than receiving. Now, you can't give unless you have received, but there is more to his kingdom than being a faithful church goer. All right? And I'm not knocking the local church. I'm part of one. I love it. I'm all over that. I'm just saying there's more to it than attendance and even serving in the nursery. You're a good saint if you do that. Actually, no, it's a privilege and an honor to get to do that, but that's a whole nother soapbox. So I hope I'm challenging your thinking a little bit to realize there's more to what God has for you than to do maybe what you've been doing. And even if you're rocking it, there's always more. And if you're faithful and humble and let him do what he wants to do, he is always happy to give you more. And it's not a burden. It's not like, oh no, one more thing I have to do. It's like, whoa, look what I get to do. So remember to like this, make some little comment, share, and appreciate you checking out our YouTube channel. And please go to our website and check out our books. There are amazing nuggets of wisdom on every page from all of our authors. And like I mentioned, we've got a few coming up and coming out pretty soon that are going to be spectacular. Great Christmas presents. I know. I saw the funniest post on Facebook. It's like, I don't want to react to this cold weather, but Merry Christmas. Okay, it's a little too early for that, but I thought it was pretty funny because we Texans, we do not know what to do when we actually change seasons. All right, so I'll just quit rambling on. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Be blessed, and don't forget to chew on these things. And if you get some understanding or want to make a point, say so in the comments and release that Revy.